like most of us would like to do, requires investing. So you may be Well, you may be thinking, okay, well, who's this guy? We're young. What does this guy know? We're nowhere near retirement. Why should I listen to him? And so I kind of have three things to tell you guys to kind of get you guys to think, oh, maybe I should invest. And these things are kind of three kind of laws I think of. And so the first one is that your dollar today is worth more than your dollar will be worth tomorrow. So this kind of like rotates around the process of like inflation and just market trends in general. That say that a dollar today, invested today, will have a much larger significance than if you were to invest that dollar in, let's say, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So that's pretty important. And the second rule is that money now has less significance for us purely because of the fact that we're younger. We have a lot more years ahead of us to make our money than we would if we were older. And also society doesn't necessarily expect us to be wealthy by any means. Society actually most expects us to be poor, so to speak. The third reason is actually proven by the Minneapolis Federal Reserve Bank that has mathematically and statistically proven that investing at a young age carries much more significance in terms of knowledge as do investing at any time later in your life, because those first few years of investing give you a huge head start, and that head start actually carries out tremendously as you grow up. And so you might be thinking now, well, dang, maybe I should start investing. Sounds pretty good. But I don't know anything about investing. So what do you do? So kind of for investors that are starting to get into the field, the rules really haven't changed throughout time. As a matter of fact, one of the sources I got was from 1907. It was from a financial company. The title is How to Invest Your Savings. And they kind of explained that as an early investor, the best way to kind of get into the whole idea of investing is through bonds. So these are kind of the least risky ways to invest. They're a virtual guarantee in profit. We'll get to that later. It states that real estate and certain stocks, so things that are easily followed with the market, are the next best thing to invest in at a young age. And then thirdly, you have individual stocks, which is what you hear Warren Buffett doing, what you hear all these celebrities getting rich off of. But it is important to note that most people, as a matter of fact, only a select few beat the market. This means that only a select few actually end up at the end of their investing career coming out with a net profit rather than a net loss. And so the last rule of this article really touches on that is super applicable today still, is that the market always makes a comeback. So what this means is that with every crash, you can see that there's one in the 1920s, 1930s, 1980s, and then 2008, of course, we all know that one. There's always a comeback. So as you can see, no matter how far it tanks, eventually, as the years go on, it will eventually surpass its previous highest point. And what this means is that if you were to find a way to invest in market trends, in this trend, you'd have a gradual average slope of a positive slope, which means that you would actually be making money as long as you hold on to your investments. And so you might be wondering, well, how can I do this? And so for all intents and purposes, the best way to do this is through hedge funds. And so hedge funds is like a collective pool of money, just to keep that simplest, that is invested into different types of assets to kind of not put all your eggs in one basket, which makes it so that if one category tanks, you might still be okay with the rest of the categories. And so an article called Financial Advice for People Who Aren't Rich by an economist, it states that actually the best way for people to get into investing at a young age would be through these portfolios or these hedge funds. And to do this, the best way obviously is to hire a financial advisor, but we're all poor, we can't do that. So the next best alternative, it states, is having a financial advising app. And so these apps have really been on the rise lately. This is an example of one. This is Wealthfront. This kind of creates a diverse portfolio for you using algorithms that follow market trends. And as you can see, it's kind of split up. It kind of takes your money, your pool of money, it splits it up between cash, bonds, dividend growth stocks, emerging markets, foreign stocks, and domestic stock or U.S. stock. And what's important to realize about this is that they kind of go from least least risky to most risky. So you can see they kind of split up your money evenly between all the categories, so that if you were to, let's say, if the stocks were to crash, you still have a virtually guaranteed way of making money through bonds and growth stocks. So this means that you would almost in no way lose all of your money. And so some of you guys may be thinking, well, this is too risky for me. This is too many numbers. And so I'm going to bring it back again to my previous point, which is just bonds. So kind of most of you probably know what bonds are, but getting more detailed is pretty much just you can go online, you can go to your bank, you can say, hey, just for an example, I'll give you $100. The government will give you like a little certificate that says, come back in 20 years, we'll give you, say, 100, 120. So you come back and you'll have a net profit of $20 instead. So this is like a super effective way of making money, super safe. I don't know why anyone would not do it, especially if you have no background in investing. Like I said, it's a super good way to make safe money. But if you're looking at this and you're saying, man, the profits don't seem very high for this, seems very time consuming, doesn't seem like something I'd be into, you can invest in individual stocks. And some good apps for beginners to use. One of them would be Robinhood. Robinhood is an app that was created in Palo Alto recently, and it charges no commission fees for your trades. So what that means is that if you want to sell or buy stock, you don't have to pay a fee to do so, which means that you won't lose money off just a trade, which is very good for people who are just getting into trading, because it means that you don't have to worry about losing money just because of commission fees. And on that note, I hope you guys all have a better general idea of investments. I hope you guys all realize the importance of starting early, and I hope you guys all do that.